What's up guys, Rick Denham back again for another Holy Moly Outdoors Tech Tip Tuesday. So thank you so much guys. It is starting now the second week of October, and really guys, we are in the prime time for our coho season. So we're sticking back to the coho fishing. Last week we covered our plug fishing and casting those wiggle wart styles for our coho. If you guys want to see that video, check it out right here. A lot of good information on that. But today we're switching back to more of a technique that is more recent in the last few years of really taking off on popularity. For me, it has become something that's really enjoyable because you get a huge aggressive strike. It's a whole feel game, so you know you get that fish to slam, you're getting the aggressive ones, and really guys, this technique can turn on fish in so many conditions. So today we are going to talk about twitching jigs. So stay tuned, it's going to be fun. Alright guys, so like I said, we are talking twitching jigs, and if you would only see what is on the bench here in front of me, I have probably 60 twitching jigs that I've tied up here, getting some orders sent out, so it is game time for this technique. Guys, twitching jigs, if you haven't heard of it, is something that really is an exciting technique. We're going to cover today a little bit on rod choices and preference to what you should be using. And we'll go into cover some great things like in this box here that'll help you catch some coho. So starting with the technique side of twitching jigs. Now you can really get away with it with the long rods. There are 9-footers that we have for our normal float fishing, spinner fishing situations. They will work. But I will tell you, a smaller 7-foot rod, or maybe 6'6", 7'6", somewhere in that range is the ideal. The reason for that, because you're having to lift less line as you twitch that jig, which we will go into in another video of the actual technique of how to get it done. But as you twitch, you want less of a rod that has to be pulled every time to get the jig to move this much. So you think about it, you can move all day long with a 9-foot rod, and you're going to wear yourself out. A little 7-foot 1-piece or 2-piece rod is ideal because you can do that all day long and really not feel any of the fatigue. So as we go to rod types, that 7-foot, like I said, is something ideal. Now you can go with a great rod like we have here. This is the Velocity 7.6. And this is a perfect rod, honestly, for so many situations, and has become one of my favorite twitching rods. This happens to be a 6-15 model. It's the 7.6 size, as I said. I paired that up with a Lexa 2500 spinning reel, and we have a 20-pound braid on there with a top shot and a 1/2-ounce twitching jig. We'll go into the jigs here in a bit, but this setup like this, super easy. And you know what's also nice? A 7.6 with this kind of a power also works great as a spinner rod. Whether you're throwing a Wicked or a Vibrex, something like this also works very well. You can also go to something a little bit smaller, like I said. I have also this one usually with me either on the bank or the boat. This is another Velocity. This one is their 6.6 model. It's a little bit lighter. It's actually a trout rod, but this sucker can take them all. I've caught kings, silvers, chums, just about everything on this rod. So I have this one paired up with a, believe it's a 2000 size Maxus, and this has 20-pound Power Pro and another top shot section, and then our twitching jig. So we'll cover again a little more of that, but just showing you a variety of what you can find. Both of those are 2-piece rods. And then you can go find a 1-piecer. Now the 1-piece is super, super nice. They are dedicated twitching rods. There's a lot of great companies out there that make them. You have Okuma, you have Lamiglass, you have G Loomis. I have Feather Stick, a couple of them, and they are absolutely a dream. Now this is a Feather Stick 7.6 chrome, again a 6 to 15 pound rating, so it's really made for that little bit heavier fish. And I have really fallen in love with this one as well. But being a one piece, sometimes it's a little more hard to bring with me on the bank. So generally, I keep this one for the boat rod. Those 2-piece rods are super nice to break down for the bank because I can take them in the car and not have any issues. So rod and gear wise, pretty simple there. You can get away with what you have. You could even use a bass rod. A lot of the times, guys, those one piece in that 7.6 spinning or 7.6 casting are a bass style rod. That's kind of how that all started, and so it really makes it a simple and nice way. Now when we start looking at jigs, again, I will show you guys and post all this links in the description below, but I found this to be one of the coolest tackle boxes out there. And it's really a streamer fly box. Obviously my logo's on it with a sticker, but this is a Cabelas streamer large fly box. I can hold a dang lot of jigs in this thing. So when I'm on the boat, or even if I'm on the bank and I want to bring the whole arsenal, you guys can see here, I only have this about half full right now. The rest of them, I said, are getting stockpiled here. So you can get everything together, what you want, what you need. It's all ready to go. And when you start to select jigs, guys, you can get them from 1/4 ounce all the way up to 1 ounce. But really determining what's going to be the best one for your conditions, I like to narrow it down to a 3/8 ounce and a 1/2 ounce. So I then look based on the current depth, that, you know, the way the current's moving, the depth that's also sitting for that part of the run, anywhere between a 3-foot to an 8-foot depth hole generally is a great twitching water. Frog water is also another section that works great. So the style of the jig head can play into that. When we're talking just your general, I'm looking for the right size here, but a general size run, maybe you're in a small stream, 3/8 ounce, maybe your perfect size. This happens to be one of my custom jigs here, but you guys can see a very contrast colored jig in a 3/8 ounce size. You can then bump something like that up if you happen to want something that falls a little slower, because that round head drops pretty quick. You can go to something with the dart style head. This one's a 3/8 ounce in the dart style. So a slower fall rate, you can really get that to die right in front of those fish. You can also then jump it up and go 1/2 ounce. Now 80% of the time I'm throwing 1/2 ounce because my water conditions call for it. But a 1/2 ounce you have in a darter style, and you have a 1/2 ounce in the round head. So your jigs can be all determined and picked out based upon the water you are fishing. That's not to discount other options. You can go the route of a Hoochie Skirt as well. Something like this really gives a different look to the fish. Now that squid skirt style falls at a slower rate and not uniform. That thing is going to dart all over the place because most likely you have that darter head and it's shoved up inside of the squid skirt, and that thing will really, for yourself, get a lot of movement and can trigger some active fish. So what then next? You have your gear, you've picked out some jigs, you kind of know the water you're looking for. I'd say one more tip to throw into this would be the color of your jigs. I have found a couple things to be true with Coho. The first thing is, it really doesn't matter a ton on color. There are times, obviously, color can make a difference, but color is not the most important thing. So don't focus that you have to have that one color. I generally stick with a couple trends, something with a lot of contrast, and a couple jigs that are darker, and a couple jigs that got brighter colors. Let the fish decide what they want. It's more important for how you're fishing that jig. You want that rise and fall quick motion like this, as those fish will see that and it triggers a reaction bite. They see something drop in front of them, and as you twitch it up, boom, you're going to have a fish hit that. So that's what I want you to focus on, is more on the technique, which we will go into here in another video. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us. I really hope this was helpful to you. Twitching jigs for coho and a little bit tips on how to get this thing set up. We'll catch you guys on the water. Take care, guys. Fish on!